Alrighty, compadres, it's another day and we're carrying on from where we left off. I was absolutely exhausted, so I might have put a couple of clips from the stuff I did for Instagram or something like that. Might have done that on the video, but this is what I've done so far. So I've had some more MDF. I put blue tape down the middle of it, and that's because when I was cutting it, don't know if you'll be able to see if I put these two together, that when I was cutting it previously, the melamine on the front of it was, oh, if I do that, it was super sort of crackly and just not very nice in total. So by putting tape on the end of it, it protects it to some degree. And now, get off, we have this kind of nonsense, which is a lot tidier. So yeah, happy with that. So that's good. It's not fixed everything, but it's certainly helped a little bit. So what I've got now is to measure up the sizes and get the lengths all correct. I've got one sort of extra long piece down here that I've got to cut into sections, but the idea, no, I've got two of those pieces actually, but the idea is going to be, boom, I'll pop a couple of cards under there, so that can be off the sort of the proper deck, if you like. So they will look like that one, and then there'll be a couple of cards again on top of there, possibly more than a couple of cards. Slightly less than that. Because that's starting to encroach on the next drawer. So I think we'll probably go with, I don't know, one, two, three, four, five, six. Let's try 6 cards. See how that looks. Seven, 8. Having playing cards in the workshop is so useful for shims. So it'll probably be more like that, I would think. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put those there. Yeah, we're remaining underneath the top there, and so what's the next one? I think I've got too much of a gap at the top there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Although I could go with having that gap there and then put a surround on the top to cover up the MDF look and have that overhanging a touch. I think that might be where we go, to be honest. But that's, I think, what we're going to be looking for. Can I just pop a couple of cards underneath the bottom one while they're all, oh my God. There we go. So that is going to be the proposed spacing, and it should be fairly straightforward to do. But we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to cut this and another one that I've got up in to make those 3 final drawer fronts. Okay, so the way I'm going to measure the length of this piece of wood that I need and make sure that I don't cause any problems when it comes to the fence is I'm going to make sure that this piece of wood lines up against the inner line of my crosscut sled, because that's where the outer teeth of my blade goes. So we're going to do that, and then you might be able to see over here we've got a gap, and in that gap I'm going to pop just a bit of wood. Move the fence out a little bit more. Move that back here. Fence in, tighten it up. Nice and snug. And now, if I put that bit of wood clamped on there, I can move the wood or the front of the MDF right up against that, and then we can cut through like so, and I've got nothing stopping things in that area right there. So let's get to it. What I'm going to do, the other three that I've previously made, I'm going to make sure that they are the right length. So we're going to pop those in there. A little tiny bit needs to come off that. So we'll get a little bit of blue tape. Bang that over there. Make sure we're on. We can snug it up against this side over here, like so. So something unusual for me, I'm actually checking to make sure that they are all cut the same width and the same length to make sure that everything is all good. I never normally do that, just a little step that hopefully will stop the headaches a little bit later on. Right, so there's a couple of ways that you can get these drawer fronts on. I think what I'm going to do is take the drawers out that I don't need, and then what we can do is start at the bottom. I'm going to put 2 cards, and I'm going to do 2 cards aside rather than just 2 cards in the middle to give us a little bit more balance like that. Then we get a bit of freshly cut MDF. Take the tape off it, pop that down there, flush it up with this side here, and then we can either clamp, or we could glue, or we could do all manner of things to make that stay there. What I'm going to do to try and keep things in the right position is I am going to clamp that bugger on. I'm very scared that I'm getting to this stage and I'm going to cock everything up. Okay, so now I can pull that out with the front of the drawer attached, and we can put 2 screws in at the back to hold that puppy on. Okay, well, this is where my lack of preparation comes in at fold again. So these screws that I've got seem to be, they're going to be the right length to go in here. So we've got plenty of purchase going on. You can't see that. There's plenty of purchase going on inside the main part of the MDF, which is good. That's what we want. Otherwise, my screws are too small, too long, or whatever. That's all I've got of these, but 2 screws in aside and we should be golden. So in order to do that, we'll turn that round. Does anyone know what I just did with the drill bit I had in my hand? What? It's in the drawer, I found it. I've got an errant brad nail in there as well. Right, so because this drill bit is possibly the same size, if not a hair bigger, then no, I'm not going to do that at all, actually. What I'm going to use is one of these Trend Center Finder hole pieces, because, oh no, it's too big for my drill. My drill is too big to get in that hole, so I can't use my drill unless I put them down at an awkward angle. However, these screws, which I've just lost, are pretty damn small, so I'm thinking that we should be able to throw those in without splitting the sort of the MDF on the inside, the thin MDF. So let's have a crack and see what happens. Okay, we're in. Nothing damaging happened. Now, unless something's gone horribly wrong, this should fit in the cabinet. Right, so I'll put the screws in there. Let's see if this fits in the cabinet. Yes, it does. And there's that 2 card difference under the bottom there as well. Marvellous. We've got that right on the side there. Good. So let's get another drawer in and we rinse and repeat. But this time we're putting cards. How many cards did I say? 8 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to put 8 cards there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards there. Drawer front. Have I got a side that I want to use? That side. Like that. Line it up against the side again. That's that one on. That's that one on. Take the cards out. Well, that somehow just poked through there a little bit, but you can't see it too much. Right, okay, best I crack on. I'm just going to do the same for the rest of them. Okay then, so we've got a couple of little fitment issues, but yeah, the spaces aren't the best, to be fair. But you know, no one's going to see it. It's under the workbench. But yeah, now I've got these cheap little handles that I got off Amazon. I got a ton of them a while ago, and I'm going to fit them in the middle, and basically I'm going to draw a center line all the way along there, and then that's going to go smack bang in the middle of that center line. Aha, I've got a spare left over one of these fronts, so I can measure things out, drill the holes in here, and then all I've got to do is put that on there, and away we go. Okay, you see, so what I did there is I just put holes on the outer edges, not where the actual holes need to be. Easier to line up, I suppose. Okay, so that should be about 16.5 that way, 16.5 that way. Really, you should put these screws in by hand because it's really delicate, but my hands don't work well enough for that to happen. So that's going to be the template, and that should be fairly straight and in the middle. So now I'm going to drill through those screw holes completely, so I can put a pilot hole in the front of every single drawer by putting this on the front. So what I've done now is I've got my drill bit, and I've taken it just a touch longer than the thickness of the MDF, and that's going to mean that hopefully a depth gauge would work just as well, but I am going to hold that on there as tightly as I can. In fact, no, I'm going to clamp it on there because I'm an idiot. And once that's clamped securely on top of that one, then we can go down and just do a couple of little cheekies in that one. So we've not gone all the way through at all there. We can now, we've now got the place to put these screws. I'll put those screws in a bit of an avant-garde angle, but never mind. Wait. That's better. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically it. Like I say, I might put a front on the front of here just so it covers up that gap, and it also shows that or stops the showing of the MDF at the front there. But I don't know what I'm going to do about that for the time being, so that'll just be something I do later. But otherwise, we've got a bunch of drawers that open, that stay open, that don't bugger up, and I can store a bunch of stuff in there. What I'm planning on doing is either getting the kaizen foam and putting that inside, or doing sort of split levels, so I have a 2-level drawer. If you're interested in knowing more about that, please do let me know. I've done it with a bunch of the other drawers in my workshop, and I found that to be quite useful. But no, is it perfect? No, but it is something that didn't exist before I made it, and it's going to be extremely helpful. So let me just get it in its final resting place, and then we can say job's a good one. Well, this is one of those times where I wish I hadn't got down here, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get up again. But this is where it's going to live. This is under the workbench, and now I'm going to have access to a whole bunch. Why is that doing that? A whole bunch of tools and stuff that I wouldn't ordinarily have under here, and hopefully it will help me tidy up a wee bit. But yeah, I imagine this has been 2 videos. If you've stuck it out this long, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I hope you found there's some level of interest in there, and you've kind of or it's made you feel better about your own process. If it has, please make sure you subscribe. I need to do a couple of easier videos because these big builds are knackering. But I will speak to you very, very soon. Thank you very much.